Hello, everyone. Nneka, Jeff, Rachel, how are you?
What's up?
Great,
Good.
great. How are
Yeah,
you?
it is good to be on with you all. Nneka, it feels like forever
It
since you and I been
has.
together.
Mr.
Yeah.
Reality Show, taking up
Uh,
all our time.
yeah, it is. It's gonna be something. I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's gonna be
Yeah,
something.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but in any case, on tonight, we didn't come to talk about that. This is going to be a doozy, and I am super excited to talk about this subject matter. But before we get into it, what I'd like to do is, Nneka, if you don't mind, I'm going to skip past you and have
Okay.
Rachel and Jeff introduce themselves. I think everybody's more familiar with us because we come on fairly often. So, Rachel, if you want to introduce yourself, maybe like 15 seconds, Jeff, same thing, and then we're going to get into it.
Okay. Well, good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Anika, for having me join again. I think this is my second time on the platform. So super excited. My name is Rachel Wallace. I am from Detroit, Michigan, but
What up, though?
currently, what up, though,
What up,
right?
though?
You know.
That's
But currently live in Atlanta, but don't get it twisted. I am still very much a D girl, all things Detroit, unapologetically. I just
All right.
happen to live in Atlanta, but I'm not a Georgia peach. Don't get it twisted.
Okay. Okay. Jeff Anderson,
My name is Jeff Anderson. I live in Maryland, Upper Marlboro, Maryland to be exact.
DMV.
Yep, DMV in the house. That's it. Short and sweet.
Okay. And then Nneka, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. I don't think it's necessary, but if you feel like it, go ahead.
okay.
And the only reason I said is because you and I are on so often
I know,
that
I'm teasing.
you're a mainstay.
You're like, okay, go ahead. I'm teasing you. I got to pick on you because I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know. I miss you too, by the way.
Likewise, Mike. I miss us doing this. This is great.
Absolutely.
But you know I got to pick on you for that
Go
reason.
ahead.
So anyway, Nneka Owens, co-host of Mandatory Conversations with Michael L. Johnson Jr. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm a relationship therapist, all things relationships. And if you notice, Detroit, we have this saying called "What up, though." I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. So you come to the D, or you're anywhere. If somebody's from Detroit, or you come to Detroit and they say "What up, though," that is the word, the language for Detroit. What up, though? So that's why I said that to Rachel. What up, though? So it was one of those inside things. But now you guys know. We let you into the D language.
It's a
Okay.
term of endearment. It's just a
Yes.
greeting that we greet everybody, but
Yeah.
it really is all love in Detroit. It
Yeah.
is.
What up, though? Yeah.
Okay. Well, on tonight, we're going to get into this. And Nneka and I were talking about this discussion around men and women dating and who is making the approach. Is it the man? Is it the woman? And Nneka, actually, this conversation, I think, or this topic kind of came out of when Jeff was on with us one time before. And we kind of talked about this, about shooting your shot and why men don't shoot their shot. And so as a result, the more and more Nneka and I talked about it, we just kept hearing more and more of these conversations about there are a lot of men. I didn't realize this because, I haven't dated since the 1900s. But because I've been married for so long, that men would typically take the approach or the role of approaching the woman first, not necessarily the other way around. But in today's times, more women are approaching men. And so I remember on another episode, Jeff and all of us were talking about this, and it came up. But it's just been a big topic. In fact, my wife was telling me earlier today that she overheard a gentleman talking to a woman, and it was about this very same thing earlier today. So on tonight, our topic is why aren't men shooting their shot? And the reality or the reason why men stay silent. That's what our topic is tonight. And so, Nneka, I'm going to toss it over to you a little bit so you can talk about this, and then we'll jump straight into it with our guests on tonight, Rachel and Jeff.
Yeah, thanks again, Michael, for this topic, and actually Rachel and Jeff for inspiring such a topic. But I think you gave me a homework assignment. I think our last tape, you gave me a homework assignment, and you said, I think that we talked about my friends not being approached. You were like, I cannot believe that your friends are not being approached. I said, well, let me check and see. I said, because my friends are pretty open. They're very approachable. And so you gave me the homework assignment to ask them, are you being approached by men? And they all said no. They all said no. You see how beautiful Rachel is? Beautiful inside and out. Beautiful inside and out. Why? Why aren't men approaching? So she said no. And she said, I want to tell you why. And her experience. So when you gave me that, I was like, man, I'm going to ask them this question. I had never thought about asking them that question. And when I asked them for my girlfriends, they said, no, I don't get approached. I'm like, what?
But did they tell you why?
But hold on, Jeff. Let Nneka finish, and then we go on. I want to toss it to Rachel, and then Jeff, I want to hear from you. But go ahead and finish, Nneka.
Well, like I said, and that was it. I was just really shocked when they said that. When I think about my girlfriends, when I think about how good of a friend they are to me, I'm gonna speak on Rachel. When I think about how good of a friend she is to me, I know she would extend that to a man. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what is it? You're approachable, you're beautiful, you got your own, and I don't want to say, oh, she's an independent woman and like she don't want or need a man. She wants that. She grew up with 2-parent household, so that's what she's accustomed to. So speaking on her, I don't have to speak on her behalf, but just what I know of Rachel, it was, I scratched my head on it. I'm like, why? So when she said that, so I think she needs to get into it more. Because that's all I got to say about it, because it baffles me that men are not approaching her.
So Rachel, we'll throw this to you first. Why is it that you think men aren't shooting their shot? And Jeff, I want you jump in, give her opportunity to speak, and then you jump in and take it from there while me and Nneka kind of sit over here like flies on the wall listening.
That's right.
So to be quite honest, because the topic says, why aren't men shooting their shot? I think that's a question for a man to answer. I can't speak for a man. I can't speak on behalf of a man. I'm a woman, right? But I think it's more apropos that a man speak to this topic. But I can tell you, as Nneka alluded, and I shared with her my experience this past weekend. I said, it's funny we're going to be talking about this because I have an experience or something I went through this past weekend. I'm out. I'm a homebody. I kind of pick and choose where I go, but I just so happened to go out this weekend. I took myself out to one of my favorite restaurants here in Atlanta. I sit at the bar, and for the longest, I didn't do that. I would get a table for one. But probably the last 7 or 8 years, Nneka challenged me and some other girlfriends, sit at the bar to be social. So I did that. So I sat at the bar. I walked in. There were 2 gentlemen there. They looked, I looked. I smiled and was about to speak. When they looked, they turned their head. So I didn't speak. I'm like, okay, well, sat at the bar. There was another young lady there by herself. I think I sat 2 seats down from her. I spoke to her. She didn't speak. I'm like, okay, this energy is weird. So I went around the other way and kind of sat across from them. The 2 guys kept looking. They were looking. I was looking. Whenever they looked, I smiled and nodded. I think if you smile and nod, that you're saying that you're pleasant, that you're open to at least a hello or a pleasantry. They looked the whole time and never said 2 words. Not only did they look the whole time, on the side that I was on, you have to walk kind of past me to get to the restroom. They walked past maybe a couple times, looked, but never said anything. So I'm baffled. I can't answer that question. If I'm smiling, if I nod, that's an opening to at least say, hello, how are you? Good afternoon, good evening. I mean, I don't know what else I could have done in that situation. Maybe Jeff can answer why men are not approaching. I can't answer.
Go, Jeff, go ahead. What would be your response, Jeff?
No, I'm just saying in general, because we're talking about in general, right?
Okay. If someone smiles and looks at me in my eye, I'm going to at least say hello. I'm going to at least be pleasant.
Right.
I have manners. I'm going to at least say hi. But why men don't shoot their shot? It's a various reasons. Speaking for me, sometimes as being older now, I don't shoot my shot. I look at a lot of social media. I see what's going on, and I hear all of the unpleasant stuff. You know, you got to take somebody. They don't want to go to certain restaurant. You got to have money. You know, so many expectations that you think that you might have to do. So you might not shoot your shot. I don't think it's a confidence thing. I just men are just don't know what they're going to get into. Um, at least for me, I don't know what I'm going to get into. So just like you, on set last Friday, I went out to the Shark Bar, Mike. You know where that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm looking around at all of that's going on in this place, and I was like, "Am I at the strip club or am I at the Shark Bar?" I mean, I was like, "Oh my God!" Like everybody was twerking, but they put their hands on the floor and twerk that way. It was, and then they was in the booth doing the same thing, and I was just like, "What is going on here?" Then I walk into the wrong place, so I didn't feel comfortable shooting no shots in there because I probably. And let me say this too: I didn't shoot a shot because I know what I want, and I want to be very intentional about what I want. 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I'd have shot my shot in there, but I had other intentions. So it wouldn't have been, the way I'm looking now. But I just was like, there was nothing I saw that it was worth shooting a shot at.
So Jeff, real quick, just backing up, because you mentioned this, and I want to ask two things. One, what is it exactly that you're looking for? That's my first question, and I got another follow up to that when you're done.
I kind of know it when I see it. I'm not looking for. I know women go out and have fun with their girlfriends, but there's a certain decorum or something that you want to see. You don't want to always see loud, drinking, a lot of cussing. Just there's a fine line between having fun, as they say, they want to turn up all the time. But there's a fine line because I'm looking at you now, saying to myself, "Can I take you around my friends? Can I take you to my, around my family?" I go to a lot of events, that have politicians and people like you and stuff like, fashion shows. Can you fit in? Are you going to be like you were in the Shark Bar, So I kind of got to watch who I'm with. Yeah, I just don't want any issues. I have a reputation to uphold or standard, and I don't want to bring nobody around. Like I wouldn't want to bring anybody around any event that you have, and you're gonna be like, "Jeff, well, who's this?" So I just gotta watch, how I carry myself and who I choose to be in my orbit.
That's good.
Makes sense. And then my follow up question, Nneka, I'll let you take it from here. So you were describing some of the reasons why you don't approach. When we spoke last, you gave some other reasons, and one of the reasons you gave was the Me Too movement, right? You had mentioned something about that, and I don't want to get into it because I want you to talk to it. But then I also, because you are a man, of course, we're talking in general now. Why do you think a lot of men, or most men, I know you can't speak for all men, why do you think most single men don't approach?
I think a lot of them don't approach because, like I said before, they don't know what they're getting to because there's a lot of expectations, such as the amount of money you make, your physical stature. You're too short, you're too tall, or you're not tall enough. Status, the way you dress, just so many things about your appearance. Like, say for instance, if I went to say something to somebody, they might, talk to me and say something to me. But if Flavor Flav went and said the same thing, he might get pushed away. They're gonna be like, ugh. Like, I don't want to be bothered with him. They're gonna take one look at you. Like, for me, I think some women will look at you and size you up and automatically be open to you, or not be. And that dynamic in that conversation could be that way. Like, if she thinks you're attractive, she's more open. If she thinks that you're not, she's not. and you can see that in her appearance, in her demeanor, and the way she carries herself. But there are some women still, though, maybe Rachel is like that she's going to smile and she's going to be pleasant to you either way. So.
Okay, I want to say this. The word of the day is overgeneralization. It's a cognitive distortion.
Yes.
And I'm going to explain that. The word of the day is overgeneralization. Yes. That's a cognitive distortion where our cognitions, our thinking, our behaving, how we process things. So a lot of times what happens is I feel like with people, they have a bad experience with someone, one person, a couple people, and they overgeneralize women to be, you say one, let's just say one. They have one bad experience and they overgeneralize to say that all women are this way. So they talk themselves out of relationships because they're so afraid of repeating that bad experience. And so you get a lot of men that are out there. It may be the bad experience from their mama, right? It's not just a romantic relationship. It can be from their mother. And they're like, you just did that right there. You just, that seems similar to my mother. Or people just are very untrusting. They are wounded and they won't admit it. And they just have this surface level of, I just don't want to be in a relationship. Like, no, there's a reason why you don't want to be in a relationship. Let's tell the truth why you don't want to be in a relationship. Not everybody has to be in one, but if you are guaranteed to be in a healthy relationship and be happy and thriving, not that it would be without, problems, would you get into a relationship? And I think some people just, again, relationships are a risk. We know that. But it's just like you get a lot of people who are overgeneralizing. The word of the day, stop overgeneralizing. Just because you had one bad experience doesn't mean all the experiences are going to be that way. Give a person a chance.
I have a question. Does that does work for on the other side with women also, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. All around.
Okay.
All around.
May I say something?
Yes, please.
Please.
So I listened to Jeff, and a lot of what Jeff said, it swings the other way too. So just like you said, women size men up, men definitely size women up. So it works both ways. So for a man, if he doesn't find that woman attractive, women instantly know by his demeanor, his lack thereof, of whether he speaks or not speak. So it worked both ways. It's not just so one-sided. You mentioned something. I want to go back a little bit when you first started talking. You mentioned a lot on social media. I want to. We got to be careful with what we intake. I'm very guarded on my eyesight, what I consume. So what I see on social media, what I take in, and what I listen to. I choose, and I'm very intentional about now painting all men with the same broad stroke. I was raised in a 2-parent household. I was blessed, where my parents were married for 58 years. So I saw, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, my dad worked. So for me, I saw family. I saw how a woman submits, how she takes care of her family. I saw how a man protects and provides. So my view is very different. I don't go to social media. I don't look at social media to generalize. Have I been in some relationships that didn't work out? Absolutely. Have I had my heart broken at almost 55? Absolutely. But I was intentional about not letting what happened to me in those relationships and carrying that into the next relationship, because it's not fair to that man, right? I was intentional about not jumping right into a relationship, but really doing the work on Rachel, because it's never one person's fault when a demise of a relationship happened. There are signals along the way. There's healing that needs to be done. So I was very intentional about me and making sure that I'm totally healed before I enter into something else, and not bringing what happened in my past to that next relationship, because that's not fair to that man. So I just want to caution you not to get caught up in social media and what these talking heads or so-called relationship experts and gurus that's not in a relationship, that's not married, that's never been married. I had a perfect example of what that looks like for me. So I want to caution you because, and it's on both sides, but just be mindful. All women are not like that. I'm not sure if it's proximity or the places you choose to go to, where you mentioned there was a lot of twerking. So I'm kind of like, what is this? I'm going to look up when we leave here. What is this Shark Bar? What are they known for? Is it what you're looking for, what you want to attract and what you desire? Will you get that at the Shark Bar? Or would you be better suited? So that's a no. Okay. So you didn't go there that night looking for that. But if you know what you want, would you be better suited going to, you mentioned you go to events. For me, I'm in nonprofit. I go to a lot of events. Like you, I have to be careful who I surround myself with, who's in my orbit. Like you, if I take someone to an event, will they serve me well? Can I leave them with my colleagues, or can I leave them with this potential donor, right? So like you, I'm looking at the same things. So that I would just advise you to go to those places where you can attract what you desire. It doesn't sound like it's going to be at the Shark Bar.
It's not. And I look, I totally agree with you. And I'll tell you this, in my orbit, I don't meet many women who have 2-parent households, who are articulate like you and know and have seen throughout their life how their mother and father have worked for over 50 years. You don't find that a lot.
Wow, that's interesting to hear you say that, Jeff. Rachel, that was a great point you brought up. And Jeff, to be quite honest, I was surprised at your answer or your response, because I would have thought like Rachel that, okay, and I know you pretty well. So the Shark Bar activities, I'm like, Jeff ain't going to the Shark Bar because
I was just there, to listen to the band, but I was just, it was a lot going on because I'm not used to being in that environment sometimes.
Yeah,
that's just live entertainment.
That's exactly right. That's some real live entertainment. I've talked to a few men and quite candidly about this. And what it's boiled down to, Nneka, Rachel and Jeff, is that a lot of men are just afraid. They've been embarrassed on many occasions, not just one, Nneka, by the way, but on many occasions by women. And I think sometimes what happens is, from men and women, we don't understand the type of signals that we give off. So someone walking up to you, your facial expression, your body language change, it shifts, right? Depending on who's walking up to you. And sometimes, I'm saying this sometimes because I don't want to overgeneralize, great word, Nneka, that the person is not interested. It could be a plethora of things that they're thinking, but what we receive automatically because of past experiences is that they're not interested. Instead of taking a second crack at it to say, you know what, let me not just presume the negative or assume the negative, and let me move beyond this to say, you know what, let me shoot my shot anyway. And let them tell me out of their mouths they're not interested, as opposed to a look that said possibly I'm not interested. So I even took it further, Nneka, and I said, well, why didn't you just go the second step? Why didn't you do that? And it was like, I was just too embarrassed. That first interaction was enough to make me stop. And you know what it was? I can't understand this, and I've never been this way. And so I'm asking, I'm saying this, and I asked these guys is, what if you'd have just went up to the person and asked them, hello, or said to them, hello, how are you doing? You have no idea what the response would have been. You took the whole opposite approach of not even giving them an opportunity to greet you or to be or become part of their orbit. You just automatically assume that they were not interested into you. It could have been what if they were looking beyond you? Because this happens a lot. I know for a fact, because I've had people say this to me. What if I was looking beyond you, Rachel, and somebody behind you? You don't know that I'm looking beyond you because you can't see what I see, right? So sometimes it's not I'm looking at you, I'm looking beyond you. So I may have been giving that look to someone who's beyond you, not you necessarily. I guess my point is, and I asked these guys, What are you so afraid of? Like a no is a no is a no. That's okay. People are so afraid, Nneka, to take a no. Like what is it about? It's not necessarily rejection. And if the person does tell you no, that means that that's just not the person from you. So Rachel, I throw this at you, you know, and I'm curious to notice, why wouldn't you just take the approach of going to the guy? You saw him look at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
recognized you. You recognized him.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my first question to you would be, it's two questions. If you were interested, why not just go up to him?
So I'm not saying that I was interested.
Okay.
I wasn't, to be quite honest. But I wish we as Black people would just get back to, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm used to that old school 80s, 90s kind of love. Like the Love Jones, the, Brown Sugar. I'm just I think a hopeless romantic at heart. I am stuck in that generation of dating. Whereas, if I'm just being honest, women did not pursue men. I was taught that by both my dad and my mom, that you are the prize. Now, some people may take that to the nth degree, but it was taught to me that if you're chasing, you look desperate. I don't chase, I attract. I'm still like that. I did the opening. I smiled. I nodded. In Detroit, I got a Detroit. Nneka knows this. If you smile and nod, that's a hello. That's a hello. When somebody just stare at you back, I'm like, man, I'm smiling. I did the little nod. You guys, and you know this better than this, Jeff and Michael. If you're on the street and you see another brother, if you tip your hat, isn't that a hello? How I grew up, that's a hello. So my smiling and doing that's a hello. I wasn't interested but can we get back to just norms of a hello? How are you doing? Right? And to your point, Michael, which you made a great point, I don't understand what men are so afraid. A hello is a hello. It may not lead to a relationship. Maybe it might lead to a friend or a companion, right? Do we always have to lead with, okay, this is my person, or this is my person? We should start our friendship, to be totally honest. That's what I'm looking for. A friend that could lead into a relationship. But you got to start at ground zero and build that foundation. That might not be my forever person. It may not be just forever person, but you never know. You might get a solid friend out of that, or an associate or an acquaintance, or somebody that you may even do business with. Can we get back to just norms? Hello, how are you? How's your day going? I speak wherever I go. I always speak. It may not be verbally. Sometimes it is a smile. It is a head nod. Sometimes it's a hello, how are you? It just depends on proximity. I was taught when you walk into a room, you say hello, or a man greets a woman. That's how I was raised. Now, I know things are different now, but I gave the opening. I feel like my smile, my warm smile, and my nod was my hello. It may not have been audible, but it was a hello.
I'm sorry, guys. I really thought that I had it on Do Not Disturb. But I think one of the things, as a mental health professional, what I have noticed, and I counsel a lot of men, and there are a lot of men who are suffering from PTSD when it comes to relationships. And I hate to say it, relationships with their mothers. And you will be amazed at how common it is. And so there's some deep rooted, although we say, oh, this should just be easy, just do it. And it's like today, I think because more people are talking about mental illness, they are no longer suppressing that, right? So they know it's there. You got a lot of men who are very anxious, who suffer with anxiety to the nth degree and are not being treated for it. So when I say how anxiety can really dictate how you move around and how you engage with people. And so you may feel like they're being rude, but a lot of times inside they are afraid. And people can present this very strong, confident person, and you have this little boy who's afraid. So I think there's a deeper issue that, of course, we can't get into it today, but I really feel like if men would, and women would tap into like what's really going on, I think we can kind of overcome some of these, you know, disconnects. People are so disconnected, and they start to disconnect by their mind in terms of what they feel or feel like it's going to actually happen. They're already creating a narrative that will talk them out of being in a relationship. And that negative narrative that they're creating, people, it's almost like their protective shield. This protects me. I don't have to be in a relationship because of these things. And so we can get more men and women to subscribe to therapy and kind of understand like the deeper parts of why they won't make those natural connections. It's normal to, I would think it's normal to want to be in connection with another person of the opposite sex or same sex or what have you. I would think that would be natural to want connections.
You would think. So are you guys familiar with seersuckers? Have you guys heard of that? So
wait, are you talking about the fabric? You talking about the suit, the fabric? What are you talking about?
Yes, seersuckers. It's always in Atlanta.
Oh yeah. The thing that Omegas do.
Yes. So I'm in a sorority. I'm a Delta, and so I attended my first one this past year. And I was telling Nneka, I was like, wow, I've never seen so many just good-looking men everywhere in one spot. It was like a man haven. So that Saturday, it was the outside event, and I'm standing in the food, and I shared this with Nneka. I'm standing in the food truck line. There was a gentleman next to me, and he was studying the menu so intently, but he was real intent about it. So I said, just to make conversation, I said, hello. I said, what are you thinking about getting? He looked at me and he looked me up and down and he said, why?
Oh,
so now I'm thrown off. Like, I said, you know what, brother? My apologies. You was looking at the menu. I was just asking the question, what you was thinking about getting. I said, don't worry about it. Enjoy your food and enjoy the event. But it's like, that's what I mean. Like, what made him do something like that? I wasn't trying to holler. I wasn't trying to get your number. You were just, again, I feel like we can't even get to a space where we can just coexist and be kind or say a hello. Another brother, dressed really nice, loved his suit, loved his color, complimented him. Again, one trying to holler, just gave the brother a compliment. I said, you know what, bro, you look really nice in that suit. I love that color. He looked me up and down and was just so dry. I was like, yeah, thanks, I know. I told Nick, I said, these men sassy. Sassy. I said, I've never in my life. I said, I'm good on that event. I said, they sassy. I said, and it wasn't just me. I had girlfriends with me. Men will look, but just not say anything. If you gonna stare like that, at least say a hello. Hello, sis, how you doing? It ain't even gotta be you trying to holler. I'm complimenting one brother and just asking other brother, oh, what you thinking about getting? The way you would have thought I was trying to holler at those men, or I cussed that man. I said, oh, these some sassy men. I was ready to go.
Okay, now, can I ask one question now?
Sure.
How did that make you feel?
I didn't take it personal. I didn't take it personal. I'm just like, man, these men are sassy.
As men, as we pursue and we are expected to make the first move or to do everything. So say if I was at that event and I tried to talk to 5 or 6 women and I got that response, I might be done for the night. I might be done with trying to say anything because now, I've been shot down 6 times. I've been treated sassy. I've been treated all kinds of things. And I'm like, you know what? This is just not going to be my night. So I'm just going to go over here and take my drink and my cigar and go mind my business.
Well, me and my girls, we did that. We enjoyed the band. We danced. But you know what it didn't stop me from doing? It didn't stop me from saying hello. I am a social person. It does not cost, and my grandmother told me this, it does not cost anyone to speak. You never know what your hello, what your smile, what your how you doing. I was at Walgreens before here. The sister looked like she was having a rough day. And I told her, I said, it's going to be okay. I said, it's going to be okay. You beautiful, smile. You know, you never know what your hello, what your smile, you never know what that person is going through. So even with all that, Jeff, it still didn't stop me from saying hello or speaking.
I agree, but just like Nneka said, some men got PTSD.
Yeah.
6, 7 times, that's enough for them for the night.
Listen,
they're not going to
it.
want to feel like that anymore, you know, for the rest of the night.
I get it.
So they might go mind their business. Yeah, I mean, and they're not saying that they're not friendly. It's just that, you know, I've had my 10 rejections for the night. I'm gonna go sit down.
You know, back
And they
in the
take
day,
it out, and then they take it out on Rachel, somebody like Rachel.
Right.
Again, not over.
That is very true.
Because everybody is different. Let me just deal with people on a case-by-case basis. And I think that's the whole overgeneralization that I'm talking about. You know, one person ruined it for everybody else. And it's just like, I get it if you have 5 bad experience, 10 bad experience, you like to say you're done for the night. But at the same time, if we could be intentional about, let's just deal with people on a case-by-case basis. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody is saying that. Their narrative is something very negative and they get stuck in that and it's over. So I wish we would do a better job. But
so Nneka, so how do men get out of that? I mean, you know, you got some guys that will shoot their shot 100 times a night, and some have a limit, and they're going to be done. Some guys, you know, they expect, hey, look, I'm gonna shoot my shot 100 times. I know I'm going to get rejected 98, but I'm still going. Some guys get rejected 5 times. That's their limit, and they're done.
Yeah, I think it's based on case by case. I think not everybody wants to take a deeper dive into understanding themselves. And I feel like people should want to understand the inner workings of who they are and what makes them be the person that they are. And not a lot of people want to do the work. Therapy is work. It's you know, sometimes it's eye-opening, and sometimes you take 2 steps forward, then you take 2 steps backwards. And sometimes people don't stick it out. So it's hard. It's hard work to really uncover some things about yourself that you may not like. Then you got to fix it. So you got the awareness. It's not just about the awareness. It's about, okay, I got to fix this. It's almost like vomit, not to gross you guys out. You vomit, you're not going to just leave it there. You're going to clean it up. Right? So once you do that, you got to clean it up, and people don't want to do that.
Now, some people just don't want to heal.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Some people just don't want to heal. So, you know, healing, to Nneka's point, when you go on a healing journey, you got to be prepared for the ebbs and flows, because it's ebbs and flows on that journey. You got to be prepared and be willing to go through a season of separation. You cannot elevate unless you're separated. You know, you have to be willing to do that. You got some people that go from relationship to relationship to relationship because they don't want to sit with their stuff, right? We don't want to heal because when you're going on a healing journey, you're going to be stretched. You're going to go through a season of total separation from family, friends, and loved ones. But I'm telling you, it's beauty on the other side if you can just lean into it. And I'm not telling you something that I think, I'm telling you something that I know because I've gone on my own healing journey. It's uncomfortable as hell, but it's necessary. And I wish both men and women would just admit that we all have some form of PTSD. Yes. All of us do. I don't care what background you're from. I was raised in a 2-parent household. I had forms of childhood trauma from some other incidents and some PTSD over the years. But if you lean into your healing journey and stick with it, I'm telling you, it's beauty on the other side. But most people they can't be alone or be by themselves. I'm thankful that's not my story.
Right.
I was just gonna say rejection is real though, Nneka.
Yeah.
And people process rejection a number of different ways. And to Jeff's point, you know, and I think this for both men and women, it's hard sometimes to be rejected, especially if you've been rejected, you know, time after time after time. To what you were saying, Nneka, alluding to, you know, there is some form of PTSD where maybe your mother rejected you in so many ways. And so you see all women like this, or your father rejected you and you see all men this way or whatever the case might be. Nevertheless, rejection is tough sometimes, depending on who you are. You don't process that well. It could be, as Tanya said, a harmful thing. If you're in a space and 5 out of 5 times you're rejected, what do you do with that, Nneka? Like as a man or a woman, not generalizing to anyone specifically, but as a man or a woman, you go into a bar, you all dressed up, you think you looking good, you smelling good, you moving, you dancing, you you go up to a person, you shoot your shot, and as Rachel said, the person look you up and down and be like, all right. And it's almost like, all right, be on your way. Like that's the only thing that was left off. Yeah. And so how does one process that? Because a lot of men from who I talked to, Nneka, this is what it was. They was like, man, I just can't really deal with the rejection, especially, Nneka, for a man to be rejected in front of a group of people. And I'm not saying this is not for women as well, but for a man to be rejected in front of a group of women, the way women sometimes do it, whether they realize it or not, it tears a man up, and it forces him to be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good.
That's a very good point. You're right. It's just like, I guess some women just don't have the right social skills. It's just like, if you're not interested, you can say it with a smile. You don't have to, the not interested doesn't have to be a negative stank attitude. It's just like, and I don't know if people know how to say it. No, thank you. I appreciate the compliment, but no, thank you. Or what have you. People just don't know how to line those words together because it's a negative, but I got to say it positively. I just feel like people need to be, if you're going out to meet people, I think people should rehearse what they're going to do. I'm not saying they got to be performative, but a lot of times people, if you're not interested in someone, I feel like there's a way to say that without making someone feel like crap. I feel like there's a way to say it. And I think some women and men feel like they got to be the most, I got to really make sure you understand I'm not interested. So I got to be a little harsh, and it's so unnecessary. But I really believe that some of those people just don't have the social skills to just say what they need to say without being hurtful.
Jeff, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, like, I've been going to therapy for 7 years now. So I also know that sometimes when I go out, I'm not necessarily maybe looking to shoot a shot. I'm looking to make friendships or to be friends with someone. And I was told by a woman, like I don't want to come into try to talk to a woman and I know that I'm not prepared and I'm not ready to be all that she might need at that time. Like, be a friendship, or to just be consistent with my behavior. So sometimes I'll step back, or I might be having a year or a time in my life where I feel like I'm not going to shoot a shot because I'm not prepared to be all that I can be. I don't want to come into some woman's life and interrupt her peace and all that she has going on and bring BS. So maybe some men back off because they know that they're not prepared to give what's needed.
That's fair, Jeff. But I think sometimes men, and I'm not saying you, Jeff, but I really appreciate that comment. But I think some men use that as a crutch because no one is going to be 100% ready. Sometimes it's when we get with someone that other parts that's kind of hard and you're ruminating, that person can help with that part. I'm not saying you should be, if you're really down and out and you're really struggling mentally, that you should enter and you got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody got something going on, right? But I think some stuff is manageable. And I feel like when we wait until everything's perfect, we've missed so many opportunities to make great connections. And I feel like that person can actually help you get over turn that corner. And so sometimes we just feel like we got to do it alone. And it's like, you ain't got to be perfect to get in a relationship. When I got in my relationship, I was suffering from anxiety. I had really bad anxiety, but my husband came in and he helped me through it. He was willing to say, you know what, let me, I see what's going on. You got some anxiety there. And I remember him, hanging in there with me. I was still worthy of a relationship. You're still worthy of a relationship, even if you're not perfect, because no one is perfect.
Mm-hmm. So, Michael, you brought something up. You said, and which is fair. You and Jeff, that men can only take rejection so many times, right? And then they're done. So, I guess I would ask, what if you're seeking or looking for a job? Do you know before when I decided to leave corporate America, and Mike, I know you and I talked about this, Nneka. I decided to leave after 29 years in corporate to make the switch from corporate to nonprofit to really pursue my passion and what I feel I was really put on this earth to do. Do you know how many rejections I got? And if I would have let all the rejections, because it just takes one yes,
Yep.
you're gonna run into a bunch of no's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeff, on your journey to seek whatever you're seeking, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a companion or a partner, there's gonna be, not just for you, for me too, there's gonna be no's along the way. As my grandmother used to say, my mother, you're gonna kiss a bunch of frogs before you get to your prince. But if I stop at all the rejection of all the kisses that I've kissed some frogs and give up and say, okay, I'm almost 55, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't happening now, it ain't gonna happen for me. That's just giving up on me and what I desire and what I want. And so going back to the job thing, are you gonna, because you keep getting rejection after rejection after rejection, are you just gonna stop? No, you still gonna look for the job, right? So why can't we take that mindset of, if you're seeking employment, if I want a partner, yeah, I may have been rejected, but that's not the end all be all. It may be the end all be all for that night, but I'm not going to take that into the next weekend or the next time I go out and be like, because that happened to me last week, I'm going to go in and I ain't speaking to nobody.
Okay. Rachel, I got a question for you.
Sure.
And this really is because you're the single lady on the panels while I'm putting this to you. And you mentioned this as well. Is it reasonable in 2026 to expect, and hear me when I say this, to expect a man to approach you? Now before you answer that question, think about this. So many things have changed. And let me just say this. I agree with what you said earlier about a man approaching a woman. But so many things have changed since 1980, 85, 90, 95, 97, 99, even 2001, 2010. So many things have changed culturally, socially. We got, people don't even want to be called anymore. They want you to text. People will literally say, before you call me, text me.
Wow.
Not me. I hate text.
But a lot of people do. And I'm just saying, because that's a new norm, right? So we have this whole new set of norms. Is it reasonable to expect, and I'm highlighting the word expect, this is word for the evening. Is it reasonable to expect a man to approach you? Think about that for a minute. Is it reasonable?
I don't need to think about it, because I don't think you should ever lead with expectations. I think I don't expect anything from anyone. I don't. If you lead with expectations, you will get your feelings hurt each and every time. I don't believe that you lead with that. I think it depends on the person. I really do. I don't have a problem with speaking to a gentleman. I don't have a problem if we're in the same vicinity approaching. I would prefer, now if you ask me my preference, right?
Oh, your preference.
My preference is, if I give you the opening and I dangle the carrot, you better
take it.
I done gave you the opening. And this is really out of character for me. I have bought someone a drink. I would ask the bartender, oh, what are they drinking? Oh, send that on me. You know what I'm saying? Refill their drink on me. That's very out of, anybody that knows me, look at Nneka. She like, wait, what? This woman has known me over 30 years. That's very out of character for me. So if I'm taking the time to do that, that is an opening for you to at least come over and say, thank you. So you can spark some type of conversation. Just for me, I'm not so stuck in my 1900s that I won't do it. My preference is, I rather attract and not chase. I'm gonna have a receiving posture, an open posture. I'm not gonna be sitting at a bar closed off like this, because this is closed off. If we make eye contact 2 or 3 times and I'm smiling, that is your opening. Period.
Right.
Now, if you ain't taking, if you can't catch up on that, okay, oh well, next.
Right.
Right.
I don't know what else to do. I'm not gonna get up off I done gave you a clear path opening. Clear.
Rachel, what if he's super fine, 5, 6'10", nicely dressed, smell good? You still gonna just be like, I sent him the drink, he got the drink, he drank the drink.
Right. I'm done at that point. What did my man Jeff say? I'm done at that. I'm done for the night.
Okay.
I'm not sending another drink.
Okay.
Now, I done bought a drink. I done sent it over there. I done tipped my, cheers. If you don't get up from where you're at and come over there and make conversation, it's a wrap. I'm done. So I'm like this. I surrender. Okay. It ain't my night tonight. Then I'm going home.
And but you know what? You should be done. If you send a drink and you don't get no response,
right?
I'm done. You should be done.
I'm done.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm done.
Not even a thank you. I mean, because you can say, okay, maybe that person wasn't interested, right? But
even me, to your point, Nneka, I don't feel like I have to rehearse if I'm going to turn a gentleman down. I know how to. You know what? Thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate it. I'm not interested, or I'm not here for that. I know how to speak to a man. I know how to let him down gently and not be adversarial or, why are you talking? That ain't even in my character, right? I know how to just graciously, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, graciously, thank you, but no thank you. But, I appreciate what you're doing, but, no thank you. I know how to do that and do it with a smile where he doesn't feel so rejected.
Yeah, some people, the only reason why I said rehearse and not for it to be performative, but some people don't have the language. They really don't. You'll be amazed that in sessions, how I help people with language, just basic language, because they're turning people off. People don't have, I'm not even gonna say it's about education. It's about that confidence. It's about talking. People don't talk much. People don't have they don't know how to line up words together. And where we feel like it's just common nature, it's not for everybody. So people have to really kind of build themselves up, not in a way that's fake and phony, but because like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me out? And they say this, what do I say? So I'm like, what? This is what you say, but it got to be natural. It got to be who you are. And, if it's coming from you, it's still got to be natural. It's still got to be you. So I'm not telling anybody to be fake and phony, but you'll be surprised at a lot of people who don't know how to line up words. So like, how to, Rachel, Jeff, how, Michael, we know how to do that. And not judging people who don't know how. It's just what it is.
They just don't have the words. And Michael, going back to something you saying about the drink, I would think if that man was really interested, he would have got up out his seat and at least came to say, even if it was a turn down, what, thank you, sister, thank you for the drink, but I'm not interested. He would have at least acknowledged, right? Got up out his seat. That just tells me he's not interested. And that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. But what I'm not going to do, because that one person rejected me, I'm not going to then take that and be like, okay, well, then I'm just never going to buy another man another drink. Or I'm never going to, for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm going to take my cue. I know how to read the room too. We got to be able to read the room. I done smiled. I done, very low key without being all in his face. Oh, what is he drinking? Oh, Merlot. Okay. Send him another Merlot on me. Then when he get it, you tip your love. Men know when a woman, y'all ain't stupid. Come on now. We in our 50s.
No. Whoa. Hold on, Rachel. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I want to stop you right there.
Okay.
Because you just made a very large assumption, a very, very large one. A very large one. I want to correct this a little bit. Not all men know that you're flirting with them or that the door has been open. Not the example you just gave in the drink, but just in general. So, for example, and again, I haven't dated since the 1900s. But when I was dating,
Mhm.
and you're probably gonna think this is naive of me, but I never could tell if a woman was flirting with me or not. You know why? Because I never wanted to assume that she was flirting with me. I'm a very direct person. So I always preferred that a woman would say something. I'm not talking about a gesture. I mean, say something, right?
Like
Because
what?
like, for instance, hello, how are you doing? Walk right up to me, because I just prefer more directness. Hello, how are you doing? My name is so and so. I saw you. I was such such. You know, may I sit right here? You know, that's how direct I needed to be, because for whatever reason, I just didn't always receive the cues that were given to me. And I'll put it, and I'm going to be even more transparent. My wife still to this day has to tell me, Michael, that woman is flirting with you. And I'm like, really? She's flirting with me? She was like, did you see what she just did? So I literally, my wife has to tell me and teach me all the cues. She would tell me early on, especially in church. My wife would tell me, she said, listen, when we get in church, I need you to pay attention. Do not ever let a woman full-chested greet you, because that's saying something, right? Don't let women put their chest on you in any kind of way. I need you to turn to the side. I need you to extend your hand. You can do all that kind of stuff. My wife would tell me, I don't want you to hold more than probably 1 to 2 minute long conversations with some of these women, because they think that because you've gone beyond a certain limit, now you're interested in talking to them, or you're interested. It was certain things she's still teaching me, Nneka and Rachel, to this day, that I will miss the cue. And the reason being, and this is what I want to share with you, why I say this. Not all men understand those cues. Not that because I've been hit on a lot. I just didn't recognize it, because you know why? At the moment they were doing it, my mind probably wasn't thinking, oh, she's trying to hit on me, or I just didn't understand at that moment. And the reason why is because I was so very direct. I never wanted to presume that this woman was that interested in me. I just didn't. For whatever reason, I just did not want that to be the case, because I never wanted a woman to think, oh, I'm all that. Because I never really thought of myself. I mean, I'm not that I wasn't confident, but I didn't want to come off like that to a woman. So I wanted her to let me know in a more direct manner, I'm interested in you. Jeff, I don't know if that's been your case.
It's true. It's true.
Even to this day, Nneka, I'm telling you, my wife would tell me, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, you see that woman? And I'm like, honest to God, I didn't know. Well, because my mind isn't there. Like, my mind isn't thinking about this woman trying to flirt with me or I just,
because I think the thing was, you're such a husband, you're so into your wife that and women will see that you're married. You're so locked into your wife. Some women don't care about that. So you're not even considering that a woman would be that bold and disrespectful. You're not even considering that. But there are women out there who will shoot their shot, don't care that you're married. I've had women rub my husband's arm constantly.
That too. That one, Nneka.
I said, Fred, they're rubbing your arm and they need to stop. They laugh and they go down his arm. I'm like, okay, that's enough.
Okay.
He said that's what I'm like. They're flirting with you. I'm sitting right here. You laugh and your hands go down his arm. That's a flirt. Why are you touching somebody's husband? Not that I'm insecure.
Guess what, Nneka? He didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
He didn't know that. Even as a single man, Nneka, this is a great conversation right here. This is why it's so great, because a lot of men don't know that those are things or flirting techniques. And guess what, Nneka? Same applies with men. Jeff and I know when somebody is trying to flirt with a woman, and a woman may not realize that. I mean, not all the time, because women are probably more, in tune. But sometimes women won't realize a man is flirting with them, but another man will be. And it's like, hey, Slim, what's going on? So, for example, same bar example that you use somewhat anyway, Rachel, a dude, and I told Nneka this. There was a friend of mine who was telling me that he met this girl while another man was talking to her. The dude, my friend, literally, this is a dude sitting there, bought this girl a drink. My man walked up to the girl and said, hey, hon, I'm sorry I was late. Come on, let's get ready to go. And the dude looked at my friend, was like, what's going on? He didn't know. My man didn't know her at all. He just stepped in, shot his shot, and the girl left with him. He just straight started a conversation. That's disrespectful. And men know that, hold on a second, Slim. Wait a minute. we're gonna have to do some explaining here. Either you know this dude or you don't, but the dude didn't put up a fight, so it just kind of went where it went. And now they together now, they boyfriend and girlfriend for years.
For years,
We just don't understand. We just don't understand the cues all the time. So my point is this, Rachel, don't assume always that a man knows that you're flirting with him. That's a very large assumption. I promise you it is. Not all men know that. And I'm not saying you have to take the direct approach like what I was describing. That's just me. But I'm just telling you, I don't want you to go around thinking that all men know that you're flirting. Because you're a woman, of course, other women know that you're flirting with them, but not all men know that they're being flirted or even being hit on. And to men, I would say this: a lot of us missed out on a lot of opportunities. I don't feel like I did, but I'm just saying a lot of men have missed out on opportunities. They didn't realize, Rachel, that you was flirting with them. They didn't know. They just thought, oh, this woman might have been just being pleasant. Jeff, you pick it up.
Being nice. You just being nice. You're like, well, she's just being nice. She don't want nothing. That's what you think sometimes.
I can be nice and buy my own self another drink.
Not that. Right? We get that one. That's very honest.
So I guess I have a question. I'm trying to see how to phrase this question. I feel like I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like men really want women to take this onus on of now approaching them.
No.
I'm like, do we have to do all the work? We gotta carry the kids, have the baby. Do we have to do all? Now we gotta approach the men too. We gotta chase the men. Like, what happened to? I thought y'all like a little chase, as long as you get the opening.
You gotta understand it is an opening that has just been made. Not all men get that. But I will say this to you, to your point, and Jeff, because I've heard men say this. Jeff, I want to hear from you. I have heard some men say, you know what? I want her to approach me. If she, that's what I want. Some men do want that. Some do.
I don't want to be approached, but I do want to know that there's an opening, that there's no gray area, or that she's not just being nice. Because sometimes I just think someone's just being nice, and I'm not, and I might be missing the cue. So Jeff, I'll just keep her.
You want her to say that though? Like, what would make you feel?
I'll just know it sometimes
to say, okay, this is really an opening, and she not being nice. What do you need to hear, or what does she need to do? I think women need to know that, right? We need to know what is it that we need to say, or what is it that we need to do, or how do we need to act to give you permission?
Great question.
Good question. Great question. Okay, there's been times where I thought I had the cue to say something, and she was just being nice. So, I shot my shot. She was like, "Well, I was just saying hello, being nice to you, and all that kind of stuff." And you're like, "Okay." So I missed that shot, or I didn't get it. That was one that I thought I was being approached or being, a cue, and I didn't get it. And then there are other times where it's the same cue, and I'm thinking from the past, I'm like, well, this happened the last time. Maybe I don't know if this is one or not, because I don't want to be in the same, place I was the last time. So I might not go, I might hold off and say, I'm waiting for a little bit more so I'll know. Just saying hello or nice, something like that. I don't know. You know it when you know it. Everyone is different.
Will you really know it if you know it though?
I would like to think I would.
Like I'm asking this question for the sisters, because we need to know. I feel like we out here blind and confused. We need to know, okay, y'all ain't shooting y'all shot. What is it that we need to articulate? We need to say, we need to do, so a man will not only approach, but take it further and ask for the number. Or I've done this too. If you have a good conversation, you know what? We should exchange numbers, or we should exchange business cards. We can even start there, right? What Jeff is saying, you'll just know. But will you just know? Help the sisters out. We want to know, what do our lips need to say? What do we need to do?
Mike, I'm deferring to you.
Not
Mike got a wife. Mike got a wife. She ain't in this.
Listen, Rachel,
Nigga got a husband.
I was going to say the same thing. I literally was going to say,
what do women need to say and articulate? The sisters need to know.
And I was going to say, you're right, Rachel. You're 100% correct. And Jeff, I was going to literally ask you, Jeff, what is it? Because she asked a legit question. How do you know if you know? That's a very legit question, because you do leave somebody confused. It be it man or woman, they would be confused if you aren't telling them how it is. When the opening is there. That's a fair question. I mean, Rachel, that's a great question too.
I'm gonna give Jeff an opening. Next time you're in Atlanta, I'll buy you a drink.
That's a fair opening right there.
I know that's right.
That's it. Listen,
you know, I would say, of
point.
Course. Next time I'm in Atlanta, I will definitely accept that drink. See, that's an opening that's very, I know now.
So if a woman says that, then
that's a clear.
I'm just trying to see for the sisters, we need to know, like, really. I'm laughing, but it's a very, very serious.
Maybe not be so so generic, like how you doing, or something general, like a general hi, how you doing today. That could be you just being nice.
But Jeff, it starts with a hello, how you doing?
Okay, but then what else is the conversation? What? Because sometimes when you're out, that could be it, and you start talking about the weather or something else. Something.
Will you marry me? Just say that.
No,
will you marry
say
me?
that.
Stop it,
Stop it. Will you marry me?
Marry me, yes.
Just say marry me.
I don't want
to gonna be looking like she crazy.
Look.
Check, please. Check, please.
So look, can we do this real quick? I wanna do just like a little scenario, right? And so, real quick, Rachel and Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, play along with me here. Rachel, if you saw Jeff in a bar or wherever, restaurant, you were in Home Depot, whatever the case is, right? You saw Jeff at Home Depot, you say, that's a good looking man. I think I would love to, or might want to get to know him, right? Take it from there and show us and tell us what you would do so we can figure out Jeff, then now we can kind of figure out how, and then Rachel, you can give him some pointers to say, look, I just told you. Don't make it so obvious because we don't want to be that obvious, but something a man would know something you could teach a man that he doesn't know to let him know, hey, I'm interested, door wide open, let's go.
Okay, so we at Home Depot or Lowe's, one of them?
Yep.
Lowe's.
Okay, we at Lowe's.
Okay, I'll go with Lowe's. I know why. Lowe's is good.
Okay, Lowe's is good for me because I stay in Lowe's. We at
okay.
Lowe's. Okay.
I like this, Michael. This is cool.
Oh,
I don't like this.
Look, first I'm looking at like
Rachel is getting ready. Rachel is getting ready to teach men, including myself, what the cues are, so we know. Right. So go ahead, Rachel.
So I got my little cart. I'm in the light bulb aisle. Jeff is in the light bulb aisle too. Jeff looking at it, and I'm like, okay, a little salt and pepper. Okay. Distinguished looking gentleman. I'm gonna act like I'm a damsel in distress. That's what I'm going to do. And I may know what I'm there looking for, but I may drum up some questions like, excuse me, sir, I'm having a hard time trying to decipher which light bulb I should get for my recessed lighting in my kitchen. So I know what I need because I got the light bulb in my purse, but he don't need to know I got the light bulb. I see something I'm interested in. I'm about to ask him and act like I'm just a damsel in distress. Sir, can you help me with my light bulbs? Can you maybe come over and twist it in? No, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
No, Rachel, come on, give it to us how you really would do it.
No, I'm gonna ask him about the light. Can you help explain this to me? I'm really struggling here. I got this type of recessed lighting. It's talking about fluorescent here and it's talking about daylight here. So I'm gonna whatever I can do to drum conversation, and then I'm gonna take it from there. So if he's willing, first I got to make sure he ain't got no wedding ring on, but that probably don't matter these days. But let me see that hand again, Jeff. Put my glasses on. Okay, very good. So I'm going to drum up conversation like that. I'm going to ask for help. And then if there's an opening there, depending on how we flowing, then I'm going to be smiling, nodding, asking more conversation, maybe walk a little bit with them. Oh, what brings you in here today? So I'm going to linger around a little bit just to invoke more conversation. That's a perfect opening.
And that's obvious now. See, I get the hint now.
Is it obvious? What made it obvious?
The more conversation, if you ask me about the light bulb and I answered the question, and then you ask me more about my day, or just the more conversation that you said, so that I'm now more comfortable with you. I'm not, I'm beyond the light bulb conversation. Now I'm taking a different look at you, as opposed to I'm a step back now and really assess this.
Okay.
What's happening now? Yeah.
Well, hold on, Jeff. Wait a minute. We're role playing. So Rachel just gave us all that. Now that she's giving us that, do you understand that she has now opened the door? What then now do you say to her?
Well, I would try to help her with the light bulb, and I would give her, any I would answer any question that she had, and I might go on to ask her about, is this a brand new house, or why are you changing the light bulb, or just ask more general questions. I might ask, do you have a man to put the light bulb in? Do you need any help?
This way it might go off the rails, but go ahead, keep going.
Do you? I don't know, something dumb, because y'all got me off guard right now. But
that's okay.
I don't know. But I
think that was a good response, Jeff. I think that was good, because you would want to know. Do you have a? Because you're leading into. I thought that was good.
Yes. Well, you're trying to find out. I was trying to find out if there was another by asking that question.
Yeah. Because again, at the same time, you're not trying to assume that she's sitting. And you got an inkling that she is, but so you want to seal the deal. Like, do you have a man to help you out? Or I think that's fair.
You need one that comes through the light bulb in. How tall are the ceilings? I may even say my ceilings are like 14 feet. Just to.
I'll just get a ladder and climb it.
Okay, and I have several. I have 3 different options for you, Jeff, over here.
So hold on a second. Okay, so this is good because Rachel, now I think you just taught some men something, because most men might miss that. You know what I was thinking? I was hoping Jeff wouldn't say this. I was hoping he would, and this is what I would have did if I didn't know. I would say, hold on a second, let me go get the Home Depot guy that works here.
I thought about that.
Right? Because Rachel, some men would completely miss that cue. But I think because you took it a step further, I think now he understood, the door is open. And all I'm saying is sometimes don't assume that you gave that little small hint. He understood. Sometimes you might take it just a little bit further, so so that he understands, wait a minute, she might be trying to tell me something. Let me let her talk a little bit. Let me figure this thing out. Let me lean in a little bit and ask her about her light bulb situation. I can help you out if you need more help. You want me to, I can stop by if you want. I don't live that far from here, so I could probably stop by to, because you just don't know. Right. But you just taught us something. That was a great lesson.
So just understand that all the time that it just doesn't click that fast for us.
Yeah.
To say that, okay, is this what's happening?
Yeah. Think about this too. If she, in that scenario, if she really wanted help, she would have asked the Home Depot person.
Men don't think like that, Rachel.
But y'all don't think like that?
We would think that. No.
That's what he's saying. They don't think.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. Men don't think
much credit.
Some men don't think like that. Some men would have went straight to that. They'd have been like, let me just go get the Home Depot guy or Lowe's guy to help you out. But again, this was a great teachable moment. Yeah. And I think when people see this, they're gonna understand a couple things. One, sometimes women may assume more than what's actually taking place, right? I don't know how that comes about, but I just think that that's what it is. But we've cleared up something now, right? So we understand you know what, maybe he didn't miss it. So now I got to take it a little bit. I got to go to step 2 now.
Mhm.
And then hopefully you don't have to go to step 3, but it may take a step 3. But as you
For
said,
me, it won't be a step 3. If you don't get it at 1 or 2, it won't be a step 3. I'm gonna go find a Home Depot guy.
Just like
Yeah,
Tanya
no,
said, let's
we
read
got
what Tanya
2.
said. Tanya said, if he doesn't seem interested, I would thank him and wish him a great day and move on.
Yes.
But again, that's an assumption, Nneka, because it may be that he's not, it may not be that he's not interested. He just doesn't fully, it's not clicked yet. That, oh, wait a minute, and this is for Tanya. Oh, wait a minute, she's interested in me. It just may not click at first. So that's why you got to take it out, not got to, but I would suggest that you take it to the next step. Because Jeff got it after that. Because think about what he said. He didn't ask you about the Home Depot guy. He just kind of leaned into the conversation. Now he's like, oh, wait a minute, she trying to holler. Let me figure this thing out, because she got 14 ceilings with these light bulbs, and now she got 3 ladders. I can get on one of these, and then we can take this a little further. Now we out of Home Depot and Lowe's. We at your house. We screwing in light bulbs, right? So I'm just saying, you don't know where it's going to go. Don't assume that he knows. Don't assume.
Can I ask this question, Jeff?
Sure.
Well, Michael, you can. You're married, but does a man have to be in a certain mood? I mean, let's say he wants to be in a relationship, but if there's an opportunity there, do you feel like men miss a lot of opportunities because they may not be in the right headspace in that moment, right? So they'll miss a lot of opportunities to make connections, because right now, how I'm feeling, I don't feel good about myself. I had a bad day. So we let all these different circumstances get in the way of an opportunity. Would you say that is a true statement?
I would say that it's true, because sometimes to meet someone in a Lowe's or Home Depot, you have 60 seconds, 2 minutes to figure it out, understand what's happening, and then you might miss it. You might be questioning. You're like, was this an opportunity? And by the time you start thinking that it was an opportunity, it's over. She's on her way, and you're on your way, and you in the car, and you're like, I wonder. When I had said something, you know what just happened? So it's quick, man. You gotta be ready.
Quick, you gotta be ready.
Yes. If you're not ready and you're not thinking fast, you will miss an opportunity.
Yeah, I think
if you see a woman in a 7-Eleven, you have 60 seconds maybe before she gets to her car to say something. And if you think too much, opportunity gone.
Yeah. Do you think, Michael, this is, and Jeff, you could both answer this. Do you think it's hard for men to kind of switch lanes, switch gears quickly? They're in one lane. It's kind of hard to kind of shift to another lane. It's just like they locked into one lane. And so they're very compartmentalized. It's just like, if you're not out, so let's say you're out looking for a mate, right? You're out intentional looking for a mate, but going to Home Depot, you're not out intentionally looking for a mate. But I think for women, we're always looking for opportunity no matter where we are. When we want to be in a relationship, we're looking for, I can maybe meet him at the grocery store. Maybe I meet him at the club. Maybe I meet him at church. So we're looking all around, whereas men may not be.
I think that when I go in Home Depot, I'm going there to get what my mind is focused on.
Your tunnel vision.
What I'm supposed to do. Get what I need and make sure that I leave with the right thing that I need. So you're right. I might not be focused on that when I walk in.
Nneka, that's a really, really great point and question that you made. Because I think men they do have tunnel vision. And I don't think that men are always, if they're not in a relationship, I don't think their single focus is, or they're laser focused in always on, there's an opportunity everywhere. Whereas women are like, if I'm not in a relationship, there's an opportunity everywhere.
That's right.
Men might get it once they're in the situation, but they won't probably, or most likely, go out looking like, oh, you know what? I'm going to Wegmans. I bet you she could be in Wegmans. Or I'm going over to get me a pair of shoes today, and maybe, she could be in the shoe store. I don't believe most men think like that. I think, when they see it, they might be like, oh, that's potentially or could be. But to go out and be like, okay, I'm outside, keep your eyes open. This could be the day. I don't think they think
I don't think most women are like that.
Michael, y'all not that way. That's
I don't think most women are like that. Neither. I'm not saying, I think more women are like that than men, but I don't think most women in where I'm at in life, or people, women like me, we are like that. Because to something that Jeff said earlier, we have leaned into our peace. We are minding our business. We enjoying our peace. We taking ourselves out to dinner. We traveling. We doing what we want to do. And I think you get to a certain point in life where you're like, if it happens, it happens. And if it don't, it doesn't make me or break me. But I'm still going to enjoy my life. And it takes a woman a while to get to that point. It doesn't happen overnight, right?
That's true.
So I think more women are aware, but it ain't like we going out. Oh, it ain't like when I go to Publix. Oh, maybe I meet him in the produce section. I'm going to Just Point. I'm going there to get what I get. And if I happen to bump into somebody, so be it. If not, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna make my dinner, drink my wine, and be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think there was a time when I was younger, like I was intentional about it because I wanted, you want to be in a relationship, you want to have children. So I think, like you said, it's different phases of your life. Where when I was younger, not that I was intentional. I did want to go certain places and meet certain people because I was going to a church that made that the focus. You got to find your mate. You got to find your husband. You got to find your wife. You got to find your person. So you are, you're on that mindset of, I got to find my person. Or maybe I'll meet him here. So I think it depends on, and Rachel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you were younger, were you saying to yourself, I got to meet somebody because you get all these things that you want to do. And then as you get older, you kind of slow that down because you're not pressed to have a child. You're just wanting to find companionship. You want to be married, but that clock. But I think when I was younger, I was more intentional about it because I had certain things that I wanted out of first.
I think for me, I always thought, and Nneka, you know this. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum. When I was in college, I always thought I would find my spouse in college. I mean, you go there with the intent of course, getting an education, but then, you have a college sweetheart. And because, you're around like-minded people, and I grew up in a different world, right? Most people, I know a lot of people that met their now spouse in school. I was hoping that would be my story. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me like that. So I think you're right. When you're younger, and if when you're intentional about that when you're younger, I think as you age and get older, and maybe you see that wasn't happening, then I put more focus into my career and going back to school, right? And then if it happens along that journey, so be it. But I think where I'm at in life now, I'm in such a good space. Do I desire a relationship? Of course. Do I want marriage? Of course. I grew up in that. That's what I'm used to, not just within my, my parents, but my family dynamics. I feel like I know that I am a wife. Now, whether that happens or not, I can't control that, right? But am I going out looking and seeking? I am not.
That's right.
To be completely honest with you, I am not. If it happens, so be it. Yes.
Can I go back to the one thing with the lows? Also, I meant to say nonverbals also. Sometimes when you're in a store and she's talking to you, you might can see how she's looking at you. How, there are nonverbals that will let you know also.
Like what,
just a conversation.
Like what?
Be specific.
Like nonverbals, like she might be looking at you with a smile, like she hungry and you a big cheeseburger or something, they're just things like that, She could be smiling at you in a way that's not a normal smile. Yeah, see that smile that she has right there? Yeah. That smile like. Non-verbals play a big part.
Okay. So
Rachel, did you get that, Rachel? The cheeseburger look.
I hope I didn't give that up. I am a little hungry, but I'm like cheeseburger look. Okay.
I know, right?
Is he saying that to me or just in general? Okay.
In general.
Okay, no, I'm joking. I'm joking with
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Ladies, what I'm hearing is we need to be more intentional with our nonverbal communication. So if you know that you are interested in said man, make sure your not only your mouth, but your nonverbals, because they're reading everything. So a little smile, a little like this,
Shimmy,
a little wink,
shimmy
a
it a little
you
bit.
gotta lick your lips and look desperate and look like you want to eat somebody up.
Can I ask one question? I bet you men give a lot of nonverbals.
What?
Jeff, I mean, I'm asking, do men give nonverbal? I mean, the way they look at you when they might look you up and down, or they do things like you said when someone said something to you, he looked you up and down and he gave you some bad nonverbal. He didn't really have to say anything, but the way that he looked at you was a turnoff.
It was, because he looked me up and down like I stank, and I know I didn't, because I was looking good.
So that's a nonverbal that you picked up some bad energy, and you was like,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I read energy. Like I'm good at reading the room. I am.
Well, men pick up the energy too, good or bad. Men pick up the good energy and the bad energy. Mm-hmm. So if we're in the aisle and you're giving me good energy and you're asking questions, I might be more like, okay, maybe there's more to this than a bug.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't think you gonna take it, because you like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done for the week. I don't know.
But I might be done for the week or the day, but I will still come back. I won't be giving up.
But you didn't miss you didn't miss several opportunities. Because you didn't
probably so.
Yeah.
I probably done missed a whole life full of opportunities because I just mind my business.
Well, Jeff, you got to stop missing opportunities. You do. You got to stop missing them. Especially if you want to be in a relationship. I'm of the belief that a lot of people just don't want to be in a relationship. They don't, because when they meet someone that has the energy, the potential, or whatever you want to call it, that there's good vibes, people tend to sleep on those, because I really feel like some people really don't want to be in a relationship. So when they meet somebody, just give it a try. People won't even try because they're already in their head. They are dooming the relationship. They're dooming. It's like, give it a try. But if you really want to be in a relationship, I think people will give it a try. But if you really don't, you are going to pass many opportunities, because it sounds good to say you want to be in a relationship, because that's the expectation. You should want to be in a relationship. You're a single man, you're a single woman. You should want to be in a relationship. And the reality is, if you don't want to be in one, I think it's okay to say, that's not for me. I don't want to be in a relationship. I like my alone time. I have a brother who says, I don't ever want to be married. I will never be married. I love being single. I love coming home by myself, not having to worry about and he's honest about that. So
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap it up here. And I do have a question for Jeff and for you, Rachel. If y'all could change any one thing about the dating culture as it stands, what would you change, or what would you like to see changed?
Rachel, you go first.
I was just about to say, Jeff, you go first, because I need to think about it.
Ladies first.
That's right.
I'm being a gentleman. Ladies first.
Okay, gentlemen. The dating culture. I want to get beyond, and Nneka and I have talked about this. I am tired of just talking about things. What is the action items? What's next? I'm tired of these talking heads and talking figures. What are some action items, some real tangible action items that both men and women can do to move us closer into connection and relationship? I am tired of the brokenness in our community. I am tired of us tired of us denigrating and downing each other. That's not helping anything. It's separating us. It's not bringing us closer. I want, if I can be honest, I want our married friends to be more intentional when they see that they have these single friends that are that want to be in connection. How can they help? I want more of that. Not, I got mine, you get yours the best way. No, how we in this together, right? We in this together. How can I be of assistance to that? I want us to stop. I'm tired of the separation. I'm tired of all these podcasts that down women, that down men. That's not helping. What are the action items to get us closer to connection and then in healthy relationships. That's what I want to see. Like Michael, you got what's the name of your all the good looking men that I see on social media? What's the name of your group?
Rachel, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you putting me in this?
No, because I want to know.
Are you talking about the men? Are you talking about the
yes,
men?
the Silver Fox Squad. What can you guys do? What are some action items? I'm going to task you with this because you got the men, right? And if Nneka had the women, I would task her. What is it as you have your wonderful platform, as you're talking and being invited? What is it that you and your cohorts, your brotherhoods can do to bridge this gap between men and women? Action items. That's what I want. I'm tired of talk. We're beyond talk. We've been doing a lot of talking. Action items.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, this honestly, I believe it starts right here with what we did tonight.
Very good. Do we need more role playing?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't have a plan now because you just asked me. I have to sit down and think about, like, really put something together that's meaningful, that's going to be lasting. So to answer your question, no, I don't have a game plan because you just asked me. So I got to think about it and put that. And I'm not going to put that on the Silver Fox Squad. I'm going to put that on me, Mike Johnson, because this is my platform. I'm going to put that on me. And actually, I'm going to put it on myself and Nneka. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
But the first thing I would say is it starts with conversations like this tonight, right? Because one of the things we have to do is clear the air. There are a lot of assumptions and expectations that need to be dealt with. That what we've done is we've never figured out what the answers are. So we just expect from one person or the other that this is how things ought to be. And sometimes, yes, that's the case. And a lot of times it's not the case, right? And we assume some things that are not necessarily true. So we got to break down these assumptions and figure out, am I missing the ball? Because I can tell you, I'm just being honest with you, Rachel and Nneka, a lot of men have missed some cues that women have thrown out there, and they didn't know that you were flirting with them. They didn't know, honestly. And women would say, how dumb can you be? Well, I mean, you think about this now. You're the expert. We aren't. We're not experts. A lot of men, and I tell men this when I mentor them, I know you think you're an expert at women, but no man is ever going to be an expert at women like a woman is. If you want to know how women operate, you learn from women. If you want to know how men operate, you learn from men. That's how it works, period. No, any man who has ever had any success with women has learned from a woman, whether it be his mother, his auntie, his ex-wife, his girlfriend, his current wife, whoever it is, it has to be a woman to teach you how to do that. Same goes for men. So that would be my answer to you, and that's how I would attack it. And so, Nneka, I think now it's been thrown out there. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Maybe we need to sit down and think about this a little bit more. And we need to figure out, how do we advance what Rachel has just put forward. I think that's a great plan because as a married person, I would love to see more women, especially Black women, married. I have a vested interest in that because I have 3 daughters. One is married. One is probably, I'm sure, going to be getting married pretty soon. And then I have another daughter who wants to be married and wants to be in a relationship with. So I have a very vested interest in this because I want to see them get with men who are going to treat them better than I treat my wife. So I have a very vested interest in that happening. So yes, I take that seriously. And to your point, I'm going to work with Nneka to figure out how do we do that. So thank you for the challenge. Challenge accepted.
Exactly, challenging. But Rachel, I've been doing that for a while. And I do
want
to stuff. Yeah. I've been doing that for a while, but I don't have the ability to recruit men. It's hard. I need another man to recruit men. I can recruit ladies all day long, but it's hard recruiting men because I just feel like some men are so, and women. So I'm not going to just say men, but there's a lot of anxiety, and people don't want to believe that, but there's a lot of anxiety that men have that will talk them out of pursuing a relationship because they're living in the past. They're the word of the night, overgeneralizing that all women are the same, and it's not fair. And women do the same thing, like to just
absolutely, and not just anybody, but people that are men and women that are intentional and serious, right, about wanting to be in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Jeff, answer the question, please, sir.
I forgot the question, but
I'll repeat it for you.
okay.
In this, what would you like to see changed about this dating culture that you guys are in today? What would you like to see change?
I would like to see more men and women honest about what they need and want.
That's good.
We are honest about what we need, and we're all in different time frames of our life, and what we want, we don't necessarily tell the other person, because if we had more, if we talked more, we could already figure out that this might not work for us, and and we're not on the same page. But just honesty up front, friendship, honesty and friendship up front, so you can be able to have a dialogue at all times.
So, question for you, Jeff. So, if a woman, I'm sorry, I want to role play again. If a woman, you meet a woman and y'all hit it off, y'all may be having coffee at Starbucks. No, you got to be nothing, no 5-star. You can start off with coffee or start off with tea, because you may not want to sit across from her for an hour and a half or 2 hours. So I say, I love coffee dates or tea dates. And she says, okay, here's where I'm at in my life. I am not looking for a boyfriend. I'm too old for a boyfriend. I'm looking for a friend or a companion that's going to lead to marriage. Would that run you off? Is that the kind of honesty? You say yes.
That's very honest. Yes.
But would that run you off? That's my question.
It's not going to run me anywhere.
Okay. All right.
Because some men, just as long as the woman don't drop down on her knees immediately and ask for a proposal.
Right. But if she just say that's where she's at in her life.
If we are sitting down and we're having a conversation, I'm not going to run off because that's what she wants. I mean, I want to know.
Right.
I want to know everything to see, if we can move forward or not.
Up front.
So speak what it is that you want, because if you're saying something that you want and I know I can't provide, I'm going to say I can't provide that.
Right. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
That was a good role play too, Rachel. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got her on the roll, Michael.
I know.
Hey,
on the spot tonight.
We got to do more of that.
I don't like all this role playing.
Listen, Nneka, I was just thinking that maybe we're going to have to set it up for at least once a month or so that we have this kind of conversation, right? As part of that plan that you asked about, Rachel, where we figure out, okay, let's take some baby steps to getting people together, to Jeff having these open, honest conversations and saying what you really want, as opposed to playing games and not telling me, oh, you don't want to be a wife, you just want to be a girlfriend, or you don't want to be a husband, you just want to be a man thing. Whatever the case is, we gotta figure it out, right? And we put aside the assumptions and the expectations. And to your point, Rachel, that we clear our minds and not set expectations going into it. That let's get into it and then let's form some expectations, because forming these very hard, non-negotiable expectations is not going to get us to where we want to be.
And it's a turn off.
Yes. I agree, Jeff. I agree.
So, man, I got to admit, this was probably one of the best podcasts that I've done with Nneka.
I enjoyed it.
Nneka, would you say the same?
I would say so. I like the host set up the topic. I think having guests on is very important, because me and Michael can talk all day about a particular topic, but we'd like to bring on guests that are actually going through it, real life in real time. I think that's important. Having these very transparent, vulnerable conversations is important. So yes, I really thoroughly enjoed it.
Got it.
Thank you all for the invite again. I appreciate it.
You.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you guys for being so transparent. Thank you for your honesty about how you feel and what you want to see, because we know some people are afraid to do that, to really kind of bare their souls, if you will. But how do you get better and how do you progress if that's not what you do, right? Admit to where you are doing well, where you're not doing well, and be open to whatever the possibilities are to get me to where I want to be. So on behalf of Nneka and I, we thank you guys so much. And to you, Rachel, especially, this doesn't knock you at all, Jeff, but you just really have ignited something in me personally, and trying to get us to some resolve in reference to what you challenged us with. So I'm looking forward to it. You should expect it. And both of you should expect another invite from us to maybe have a round 2.
Yeah,
I would like that. I like the role play too, because I think people need something very practical from a man and a woman's perspective of how that looks. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Jeff. I'm laughing at Jeff because Jeff said he didn't like the role play. I think it caught him off
Jeff
guard a
liked
little
it.
bit.
Lord have mercy.
Jeff liked it.
Jeff, I need you to come up in your elevation of thinking, brother. It's okay. Challenge yourself. Stretch yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Jeff, you did awesome.
It's gonna be okay. We in this together now. You ain't by yourself.
Nneka.
Huh?
No, I was saying I'm throwing it over to you before we get out of here.
I think there's nothing really left to be said. I just think this was an all-around great conversation. But I want people to really be sensitive to the overgeneralization that where we get stuck and we talk ourselves out of relationships. And if you're not mindful that you're doing that, pause for a minute and really ask yourself that question: am I overthinking this? And that's what causes me to be stuck. And I think people need to really take a look within. So it's one thing you can definitely have that awareness, right? But then what are you going to do with the awareness? So it's not just enough to have it. Now we got to do something about it.
Agreed. Listen, thank you guys again. We're going to get out of here. Thank everybody for tuning in. Listen, the podcast might be over, but the work is still going. So if you have comments, questions, please throw them in. We're going to see them. We're going to respond to you and look forward to Nneka and I coming back with our next topic. We don't know what it is just yet, but we're going to come. I sent you something, by the way, Nneka. I want you to take a look at it.
Okay.
And actually, I'll just mention it to you guys. So this is real quick. We ain't got to talk about it. But this whole idea, Rachel, Nneka, soft life. This soft life. All right, we ain't going to talk about it now.
Don't talk about it now.
Nneka, we going there, Nneka.
Okay, let's go
Jeff,
there.
we get ready to go there. We're going to talk about this soft life thing.
Yeah.
So the next podcast, I'm throwing this at you, Nneka, now. So you'll know LeBron James, there's a couple of LeBron James talking about this soft life theory. And he gives his idea about a soft life. So I'm not going to talk about it here, but I would like for you guys, if you just Google it, you'll find it. And I would love to know your thoughts. But Nneka, I want to tee up the conversation now for our next podcast and talking about the soft life. And we're going to have to bring on some guests for this because I really want to hear from a man and a woman in reference to what they think about this whole idea of a soft life. So we'll actually define what a soft life is, and then we'll kind of get into those thoughts and opinions about this soft life theory.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That's a good one, definitely. It ain't happened to me yet, so I wish it happened to me.
New age terms that didn't exist in the 1900s, as Michael would say.
Hey,
during
life was so much simpler in the 1900s.
It's true. Can we just go back to that era? I love that era.
Some parts
wish
of it,
we could.
no. Some parts yes, but some parts no.
True that.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, thank you so much again. We really appreciate you. Again, we're out of here.